All right, we are back, part 7. I got a lot of products stacked up on this table to either sides of the camera here. Tried to organize a system in which I can run through my entire regiment, hopefully fairly quickly, and not have this video take, an hour or something like that. So bear with me. I am going to try and go a little bit fast. The beauty of a video is that you can always rewind it and watch it over again. So from the beginning, what do I do when I get ready to lay down my season-long detail, right? The detail that's going to basically set the stage for the entire show season, cruising season, and then I just maintain, right? First things first is I do what's known as a waterless wash. Why a waterless wash over a full-on soapy wash? For a couple reasons. One, my car never gets super soiled unless I get caught in a rainstorm or something like that, which out here in Nevada is kind of rare. I've had the car for going on almost 5 years now, and I think I've been caught in a rainstorm maybe twice, right? So I do a pretty good job watching the weather. I don't get it super soiled. The other reason why I don't do it is because it is a classic car. Classic cars don't have all of their gaps and seams as tight as newer cars. There's not, so it's not as watertight, and water can make its way into areas, and that can lead to rust and things like that. So unless I have to, I really don't wash it. I don't really have a lot of washing stuff. I do have an auto bathe in there, but I don't even have a wash mitt. So I would have to go out and get one, or I'd have to just use one of my really soft microfiber towels. And I do have a bucket, and I have a grit guard and all that, but I generally don't wash the car. So I start with a waterless wash. What waterless wash do I use? Well, the one that I have found that does a really good job of just straight up cleaning, Adams waterless wash. All right, this is not a hybrid waterless wash. It is not a waterless wash with quick detailer. It does not have any SiO2. It does not have any protection. It is a straight up like car wash in a bottle, right? So it's got some cleaning products. It's very gentle on the paint, and that's exactly what I want it to do. I want to essentially wash my car without a huge bucket system, and I can control where the moisture goes, right? What do I pair this with? Adams makes a pretty good waterless wash towel. Really, any microfiber towel that is what's known as a waffle weave towel is a good waterless wash towel, because it can help you get any kind of bugs or stuff like that are kind of stuck on your paint, or any grime or something that you pick up from the road. Really good for dust, light dirt. So I have a waterless wash towel from Adams with the Adams waterless wash. But again, any waffle weave microfiber towel will work. All right. Once I'm done with a full waterless wash, and I've gone over the vehicle to where it's pretty much clean, the next thing I'm going to hit it with is, bear with me now, and I don't think I brought it in here. I did not. Okay, I'm sorry about that, but there is a product that will look like this, even though here it doesn't say Instant Detail Spritz, it says Perfect Paint Prep, right? But it's the same bottle. It's by Wolfgang, it says Perfect Paint Prep, right? And I use that with a version of that waffle weave towel. It's instead of a waffle, they call it a pluffle, because it's a little bit more plush, right? But it's generally the same scheme. It's a little bit softer. And the reason why I'm going softer is because I don't need to get dirt and grime off the car now, right? So now I need to just wipe product, okay? What does the Perfect Paint Paintwork product do? It essentially acts as a stripper to get any old product off the car, and it does have a little bit of iron decontamination in it. Not a whole lot. It's not an actual iron decon. It's more of a product to get old product off the paint. So any old waxes, sealants, or anything like that you may have, this is going to remove any remnants of that and kind of any oils or anything like that, and essentially leave your paint a pure, pristine base foundation with nothing on it. I like Wolfgang's Perfect Paint Prep because it is very gentle, non-abrasive. It is water-based. There's no alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, or anything like that in it on some of the more aggressive paint cleansers that are out there. I use it, and how do you know it works? When you've wiped the panel with this stuff and you rub your finger across the paint should grab your finger. Like, your finger should not glide across the paint like, you know, feeling silky smooth as if it had a coat of wax or ceramic or something like that on it. Like, it would be grabby is what they call it. So it would feel like bare, smooth, painted metal. So that's what I do, right? That then sets the stage for me to start doing a paint correction. So what am I going to do a paint correction with, right? So I'm going to start off with Wolfgang's Finishing Glaze, all right? Now, it says glaze. It's not a glaze. I've mentioned this in another video, okay? It is a mild diminishing abrasive, right? It is a fine polish. Wolfgang Finishing Glaze is a pure polish that creates high gloss, wet look on all finishes. It contains mild diminishing abrasives that smooth and brighten paint, okay? It also has nourishing oils that will wet the paint for a dazzling show car finish. So it is a finishing polish. This removes up to 2,500 grit scratches on it, right? So it's not, you know, most pure polishes, not a finishing polish, but polishes will remove about 2,000 grit, and then compounds will allow you to get rid of even more coarse scratches. So 2,500, most of what I have on my car is not a huge gargantuan kind of scratch. So 2,500, I tried this for the first time last year, worked phenomenally. What am I going to use this with? This year, I'm going to use the Lake Country Green CCS pad, light polishing pad, okay? This has a little bit of bite to it, just a little bit. So a light polishing pad. I used this last year with a pad that had no bite, no correcting capability whatsoever. It was just a pure finishing pad. So I am stepping up the aggressiveness just a little bit, pairing these two together. Once I've gone over an area with this, I will then buff with a Creature 420 microfiber towel. Okay, this is what was recommended to me by the Rag Company. This microfiber towel is from the Rag Company. I told them all of my chemicals. I told them all of my procedures and everything that I do, and they went ahead and made recommendations for me on what in their arsenal would work best with all these for their intended purposes. So every one that I show you has been pretty much recommended by them, okay, for this. So Creature 420, I chose blue. I got different colors so that way I can color coordinate them. So this is step one, okay? Next, all right, last year when I was done with this, I jumped straight into a product known as Black Hole Show Car Glaze. This year I'm going to add one product, in between the Finishing Glaze and the Black Hole. And it's a brand new product I'm very excited to use this year. It's called Extreme Solutions LVR 403 Foam Pad Polishing Glaze. So this is less of a polish, even though it can polish, and more of a glaze. It has diminishing abrasives as well, where the Wolfgang finishing polish took 2,500 grit. This is 3,000, right? So even more fine. And on a scale of 1 to 9, as far as correcting capability, like 9 being like very aggressive and 1 having almost no correcting capability, Extreme Solutions rates this product as around a 2-ish. So it's got very light correcting capabilities. But what this has that I have not seen in any other product is this has acrylic fillers in it. And so that's where the glaze part of this name comes in, is the acrylics, when you give them 48 hours to fully cure, they essentially form another layer of clear coat on your car. So they're not only going to fill any leftover swirls or scratches that you have, but then when they cure, they're not just filled with a filler, they're filled with clear coat. Because acrylics do tend to harden a little bit, these fillers should not wash away as easily as others that you have in there. So I'm really excited to use it. Very gentle on your paint as well. And this one, I'm going to use it with the Lake Country CCS Blue Pad. This one has virtually no cuts, right? The green is a light polishing pad. This one is known as a light polish / finishing pad. So it's a little bit softer than the green, so it's going to have very, very little correcting capability and allow me to finish out really good with this. All right. Then I'm going to buff this off with another Creature 420, this time a gray one, to help me keep track and delineate between which ones I'm using on which product. So gray 420 gray. Okay. All right. Then after this, all right, since that product is really going to be my glaze, what I'm going to end up doing is the next step is I'm going to use something called Poor Boy's Black Hole. All right. This has fillers in it as well, but they're nowhere near as good as the acrylics. But this right here is really known for exactly what it says on the bottle here. So it says hides swirl marks, but that really won't be why I use it. High gloss and slick finish, contains cleaners and fillers used in shade. Okay, so this right here is basically a gloss enhancer, right? So once I'm done using the LVR 403 and I give it the 48 hours to cure, I am going to run this very light coat. I'm not going to use anywhere near as much as I used to use before, because before, like I said, I went from all polishing straight into this, and this did the majority of my filling plus gloss enhancement. Now I'm just going to use it as a pure gloss enhancement. So I'm just going to put a couple of dabs on a pure finishing pad, the Lake Country CCS Black Pad. This has 0 correcting capability, so this one's 0. The blue is super slight. The green is light polishing. And then if I had a white one, the white would be straight up polishing, right? So this has no cut whatsoever. So this is just for applying this, right? And like I said, last year when I used this, I would probably put like 5 little dabs on this, spread it around the pad, right, to get the pad kind of primed, and then probably put 2 more dabs on it, and then really cover a panel really good, nice and thick with this, and work it into the paint and then buff it off. This year, I'm probably just going to put just a couple of dabs, prime the pad, and then just use that. Just put a very thin coat on it just to make the paint kind of pop and make it a little bit deeper, and then I'm going to be done. And then I'm going to buff this with another Creature 420 green. Right, so I've got all the different color codes for all the different products, right? So a Creature 420 green is what I'm going to use for this step. Okay, so now that I'm done with that, okay? Now the next thing, one more thing. The black hole is obviously for the black part of my paint. My car has 2 pearl white stripes, SS stripes running down the middle. For that, I'm going to use white diamond. White diamond is exactly the same thing as the black hole. It's just made for lighter colors. So I do this on the stripes. I'm going to apply it with the same exact pad, and I'm going to buff it with the same exact Creature 420. So, all right. Then that's for cleaning. So we've gone through cleaning the paint, prepping the paint, correcting the paint, enhancing gloss and shine with the LVR 403 and the black hole and the white diamond. Now it comes time to protect it and take the gloss to another level. So then comes Deep Gloss Paint Sealant by Wolfgang. I've been using this stuff for well over a decade. Started using this with other cars that I had. I have not found something, in my opinion, on a dark car that works better than this. It is amazing. It goes on so easy. It's very thin, and a little bit goes a long way. You're not supposed to layer this on super thick at all. You shake it up, it comes out. It's a little runny. It's not quite as thick as like the polishes and the glazes. So you just literally need to put just a little bit of this onto any kind of a foam pad or a microfiber applicator. I will use for this and for a lot of other stuff, just your good old fashioned standard little applicator. I've got some other ones in there that are like this that have Velcro on the back and they attach to a kind of handle. You can use that as well, but they're foam. They're just regular finishing, foam. Just a little bit, you're just basically gonna do a little bit, kind of work it in the pad to kind of prime it a little bit, and then maybe one little drop in the center. And then, with doing what I just described, it is not unreasonable to do almost half my hood, right? A little bit goes a long way. You just want a nice thin coat, right? You put this on, you got to let it sit for about 45 minutes. And then when you get it in 45 minutes, you are going to buff it off. You can use a Creature 420 like what I have, or you can use really any microfiber towel, because since this comes off super easy, so you don't need a short pile microfiber that's kind of grabby to get like a thick product off. As long as you don't over apply it and you don't put a real thick layer, if you do it right, it'll come off with any really standard microfiber towel. So you can use the 420, you can use something more plush, whatever you want to use, right? This is a sealant. So we talked about sealant. Sealants are like a wax, but they're synthetic. So this gives me, the way I maintain my car, since it never sees the elements and I never give it a full-on, wash with harsh chemicals or anything, I get over a year of protection out of this. Now, I put 2 coats down. Why? Because Wolfgang recommended it to take the gloss up a notch, and they're right. So I've done 1 for a long, long time, and then last year I did 2, and it was a little bit noticeably glossier when I was done with it. So this, once you buff it off, you have to let it sit for 12 hours. Nothing can touch it. No water. Try not to get no water, no chemicals, no nothing. Let it cure for 12 hours. Then you put your second coat, let it sit for about 45 minutes, buff it off, and then you let it sit for another 12 hours before you put anything else on, right? So this is my baseline protection that protects all of the correction that I've done, the glazes that I put down, everything for essentially the show season, all right? So that's the sealant. When I'm done with the sealant, then I found a product that works hand in hand with that black hole glaze to make my paint look a little bit more black, right? And then I put a very thin coat of Natty's black paste wax, right? Specifically formulated for black vehicles, okay? Thin coat, just a little bit on top. And why wax on top of sealants? Because sealants work a lot better when they are basically put on top of not a lot of chemicals, right? So ideally, I would put that sealant on with none of the black hole down, but since I'm only going to put a very, very thin coat down, it should bond okay with the paint, right? But truth be told, a lot of people will tell you, hey, you want sealant to go on like pure paint with no chemicals, no fillers, no nothing. But that's why you definitely don't want to put it over a wax, right? So I'm just going to put a very thin coat of the wax of the Natty's Black to, again, make my paint as black as possible, right? So I'm going to get the gloss and shine out of the sealant. This is going to have its own little layer of gloss and shine on there, but I'm not going to put a whole bunch on there, right? So just one single thin layer to buff off and bring out that super shine, right? And I'm going to put this on with the same type of applicator, something like this, okay? And then what am I going to remove wax with, right? So the wax, even a thin layer, waxes are going to be a little bit more, caked on than the sealant. The Wolfgang, breaks apart very, very easily, buffs off very, very easy. This is, not extremely harder to take off, but it is a little bit more. So for that one of the only rags that I have that is not from the rag company, it's just one that I got as a free gift in an order that I did from Auto Geek. They gave me a Cobra 500 GSM. And I used this towel last year to take off wax, and it was awesome. It was really good. It made the wax removal a lot easier. I was using a higher GSM, more plush towel before this. And it was okay, but this made it way easier. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I'm going to keep this one. I've run it through the wash and with a proper wash, and now it's nice and clean and product free. And I'm going to use it again with the Natty's Black. Okay. So now we're done with the wax. Car's fully buffed and everything. What's the last thing that I'm going to do to the paint? The last thing I'm going to do to the paint to just completely set it off and take it to another level is Extreme Solutions Topper. As the name implies, it is a topper. It is meant to be the last thing you put on your car. It is like a quick detailer, but on steroids. Quick detailers you can use anywhere. You can use them out in the sunlight. You can use them when the car's a little bit dusty. You can use them, that's why they're called a quick detailer. Quick detailers generally have light cleaning ability, little bit of protection capability, so they have maybe a little bit of wax in them or a little bit of sealant in them or a little bit of ceramic properties in them, so they can kind of basically lightly clean your car and then impart some shine and protection, which is why they're called a quick detailer. This is not that. This is not a cleaning product, waterless wash. This is a straight up top coat lubricant and protectant. That's what it's called, but really what it does is make your paint insanely slick, so if anything falls on it, water, chemical, whatever, it's very easy to get it off. Like, it's very hard for anything that falls on your paint to adhere to it, so you don't have to rub very, very hard to get it off, which lessens the probability that you're going to get scratches, right? And this puts an insane amount of gloss. I've never seen a product that you can spray on, wipe off, and give you the kind of gloss that this does. So even more so than like the sealants. When I first started using Wolfgang, I didn't think it'd get any better, right? Then I came across this and I was like, wow, right? So truth be told, when I put the wax, the Natty's Black, on top of the sealant, it doesn't really change the gloss that much. It does make my paint look a little bit blacker, because the sealant has the black hole underneath it, and then it's got the Natty's Black on top of it. So when I use the two, my paint gets a little bit blacker. Not too much more shiny. This, though, kicks it up another notch, right? So I put this on as the last step, and then like the night before a show, if I got a car show on a Saturday, then what I'll do is, like, the evening before, I'll go out, make sure the car's dust free, and I will lightly spritz a coat of this, and I will work it in with an Eagle 350 microfiber towel, recommended by the rag company to use with this product. Okay, so I will spread it with this, work it with this, flip it over onto a dry side, and do a buff, right? So then once I'm done with topper, I will go over the entire car, make sure that there are no streaks, no areas of maybe wax or sealant that I maybe left behind, and I do a final buff with the Eagle 350 yellow. Okay, I chose this one, yellow, just in case you do pick up some kind of a contaminant or a piece of dirt or something like that, you can see it. So every time I wipe on the car, when I lift the towel up, I always check it and I look down. And if I see something, hopefully something sticks out amongst the yellow background, and I can pick it off, and that way I don't put a new scratch on my car. All right? All right, so that's final buff. Okay? Let's see here. I did show this bottle earlier, right? So you may be asking yourself, instant detail spritz, right? This is a quick detailer. This is the kind of stuff that I will take to a car show, right? If I have to do like some on-the-spot cleaning or something. If I pick up some kind of road grime on the way to a show or whatever, I will hit the spot with this, because this works better out in the elements, in the sunlight and stuff like that, versus using the topper. The topper tends to streak if your paint's too hot, if you got the sun beating down on you, because it's not really meant for that, okay? So I will use the detail spritz. Or if I'm not going to a show, car's been sitting in the garage for a couple weeks, and I want to go take for a ride around Fallon, I'll hit it with a little bit of this to just make the gloss pop again, and then just take it out there. It's real quick. It's easy to use. This has the same chemical properties in it as the sealant. It was actually designed to go with the sealant, so this extends the life of my sealant if I use it. So I already get anywhere up to a year life out of the sealant. This just really ensures that I get that year, because I will, periodically spritz with this. All right, so that's the quick detail. All right, so that covers the exterior paint, the process. All right, so we still got a couple other things to talk about. So next, I got a lot of chrome and stainless trim on the car. The stainless actually cleans up really good with just regular old waterless wash, and I may hit it with a little bit of the quick detailer, and that black hole or white diamond glaze that I showed you, it works really good on metal too. Shines it up really good, so I'll use that as well. But for my chrome, Mother's Chrome Polish. All right, so Mother's is really, this is really good, very gentle, does a bang up job on the paint. I'm sorry, on the chrome. So I will use this on my bumpers, because everything else on my car is stainless. But I'll use this on the bumpers, and then on the wheels, on my aluminum wheels, they are not coated. I use the Wolfgang system here, 2-part system. All right, and why do I use this? This was actually sent to me by Wolfgang as a trial. I had mentioned on one of their posts on Instagram that this product intrigued me, and I hadn't gotten around to trying or something like that, and they private messaged me and they said, hey, would you like us to send you this and this in exchange for you using it, telling us your thoughts, posting it about it on Instagram or something? I was like, sure. That was like a little over 2 years ago, right? Haven't looked back. Awesome. So this is a fine aluminum polish. So you use this to get get them looking real nice, and then you put a very thin coat of the metal sealant on it to basically do to the wheels what you did to your paint. So it makes them very hydrophobic. It helps to keep brake dust off. It helps to keep, stuff off, and it makes it really easy for them to clean up. All right. You can apply this many different ways. This year, I'm going to apply this with a cordless drill. Basically going to get one of those foam applicators that have like a drill bit attached to it. They look like a cone. Put that in there and do the wheels like that. I have been doing it by hand with just the regular microfiber applicator. Hurts my fingers. So I'm looking forward to using that. And then I'm going to buff them with the Rag Company Drago Red towel. This one specifically on their website lists that it works very well on metals, chromes, wheels, things like that. So this is my metal polishing towel. Is what I'm going to use on the wheels. This is the same kind of towel I'm going to use on the bumpers for the chrome, stainless, anything like that. Right? That's what I got. All right. So put that off this side. All right. Interior. Really, use any rag you want. So I bought a 10-pack of the Terry Black, because they were like $1.99 each or something like that. So I paid like 20 bucks. Got a 10-pack. So this is what I'm going to use on the interior. How do I clean my interior? I used to only use this, and I thought I did a really good job. And it does, right? Says vinyl and rubber cleaner and conditioner. This is made by Pinnacle. Pinnacle's a great brand. This imparts a really nice, rich, glossy look to all of your vinyl. If you're someone that likes more of the natural / satin or look to your vinyl, this is not the product for you, right? The look that I like to describe is it kind of looks like Armor All when you're done with it, but this is way better than Armor All, right? So it has like that kind of nice glossy finish. It cleans pretty good, but I found last year by accident, because I had left this bottle here at the house when I went to Hot August Nights, and I needed an interior cleaner, so I went over to the Adams booth and got theirs and found this interior detailer. This does a little bit better job at actually cleaning than this. I noticed that when I used this, I got more dirt up in the rag, and it just did a better job of cleaning it, but this did not shine it or anything. So now this year, I'm gonna clean with this, and then I'm gonna follow it up with a quick wipe down with this, so it conditions it and makes it nice and kind of glossy, right? And again, I'm just gonna use just a regular terry cloth for the interior. All right. Okay. All right. Glass. You can use the same kind of waffle weave towel that I used before for the waterless wash. I've used it on my glass. This thing works amazing. And to be honest with you, I don't really use a glass cleaner. I found that the Adams waterless wash does a pretty bang up job on the glass. It really leaves it looking really, really good. So I just use the Adams waterless wash with the same kind of towel on all my glass, and it does a really good job. All right. Getting down to the wire here. Oh, let's see here. Tire shine. I like this tire shine, okay? Similar thing I'm going to say about this that I said about the interior stuff. If you are not a fan of your tires looking wet, don't use this, right? If you like that more natural rubber kind of satin look without the glossiness, get a different cleaner. Tire shine. This is going to give you that wet look. Any foam or sponge applicator, just wipe it around.